YouTube land. This is Doug Rost, and I'm going to work with Basecamp today. Just going to go over some of the basics so that you have a better idea of how it works and some of the little tricks and little features. So right away, let's go over some of the areas here. Up at the top, we have a toolbar, and if yours doesn't look like this, you can go down here to toolbars and select which toolbars you want to look at. Or you may be on a Mac, and I think the Mac runs a little differently as well. Right now I have the hand selected, which they call pan, to allow me to drag the map around. We can zoom in with the magnifier. We can select, measure, and so on. Over here we have a collection of folders and rides. When you click on a folder, it's going to show you all of the routes in that folder. So right now I have the Galena folder selected, and it's showing me the routes that I have for the Galena campout. If I select MOA 2015, and by the way, I'm using a mouse that has a scroll wheel on it. That really helps because using the scroll wheel, I can zoom in and out. And there's the routes for MOA 2015. If I open that by selecting the plus, it's going to give me the individual routes. So folders are really helpful for sorting and just categorizing your different rides. So why don't we start with creating a new one. So we're going to take up a collection. You can see I got a lot of routes in here. I'm going to right click and new list folder, and we'll call that test. Okay, so we have nothing in there. Now, if I want to create a route, there's a couple ways of doing it. I can, within that folder, create new list. Test route 1. And I can select new route. And let's just pick a place. I'm from Woodstock, so let's click there. And now I've got a rubber band. I can select various areas. Now here's where the scroll wheel comes into play. I can use the scroll wheel to zoom in, select a point. Now if I want to go over here, I find it easier to scroll out, use the arrow key to pan up and down so that I'm not losing this rubber band. Now each time I'm putting a point, that's called a shaping point. And they are very important, but you have to understand how they work. Even though there is a route, in between these shaping points, the shaping points are the only thing that, oh, I don't want to do that. The shaping points are the only thing that that Garmin, that Basecamp, is paying attention to. It's not paying attention to each road that got it from here to there. And I'll explain why. Let's put some more points in here and we'll just call it the end. Okay, so that's a little route. If I go to my select tool and I double click on this route, right over here, it tells me the driving mode, and I am in motorcycle. If I have motorcycle curvy, if I have driving, walking, hiking, those are what is going to dictate the route in between the shaping points. So if I have one route here and one route here, the route that it may put between there, if it's set to, let's say, shortest distance, it's going to be a straight line. If it is set to curvy roads, it's going to find a curvy road in between those 2 points. So if you're making a route in Basecamp and you have very few shaping points, and then you export it and you send it to a friend and he puts it in his route may look differently because his Garmin could be set up for fastest route, curvy roads, shortest time, automobile, whatever, and it's going to only bring those shaping points over. And based on his preset, it's going to create a route in between those shaping points. So to get around that, put in more shaping points. If you want to pass this on to a friend, if you want to transfer it between Basecamp, maybe you're having problems between Basecamp and your Garmin on your bike, that most likely is the problem. You don't have enough shaping points. Okay, so we've got a route, and how can we, let's say, oh, I screwed it up. I want to move some of this. Well, we're going to go up here, and we're going to, here we go. We're going to take this little box with the arrow, and when we go over a shaping point, you're going to see right over here, it changes, and I can select that shaping point, and now I'm holding down my cursor, and now it's giving me a rubber band between the shaping points on either side of it. And I can move that shaping point, let's say over to here, and drop it, and it's going to build it over there. If I want to add in a shaping point right here, I can insert, and when I get to excuse me, you'll see that when I get close to the route, it gives me this dark line, and that's going to tell me I'm between 2 shaping points, and those are the 2. So if I create one, let's say here, if I click in between there, it's going to grab that, give me a new rubber band, and I can scroll in, and let's say we want to go down this road here. So I'm going to click that, and now it's going to include that, and I still have the ability to put another shaping point in between. Now, as I've zoomed in, I can already see that there's a problem here. Let's go over here. Right here, I have one of my shaping points, and it's actually off the road. So when I was creating it, I was zoomed out, and I thought I was clicking on the road, and I clicked just to the side of it. So there's a couple things we can do. We can use the move tool to move that shaping point. I can use the erase tool to, as I get close, it gives me an X. I can erase it, but now it's going to reroute because, again, it's going in between the shaping points on either side of the one that I just erased. Well, let's add one back in. So see, here we've got a really large distance between these shaping points. Now, if we were to export this route, there are a lot of opportunities for it to create a different route simply because there's many options in between those 2 points. So we want to go back to Plank Road. Let's just zoom in a little closer, make sure we're on the road. Now, one area where you're really going to want to zoom in, it can really screw you up, is if you're going on a freeway. So if we were on 90, I would want to really zoom in, because if I create a shaping point, as I'm holding it over, it's showing me I-90 East or I-90 West. So it's giving you the opportunity to select which side of the road, which direction you want to travel on that road. That's why you want to zoom in, because it's essentially 2 roads. And if you pick the wrong side, you're going to be getting on, getting off, getting off, getting on, because it thinks you want to go to that shaping point. It makes you go through it. So if you're dealing with highways, make sure you're picking the right direction. So we've got a bit of a route. We can, let's say we want to move the ending location. So I can just click, hold, grab, drag, drop. Now, when I double click this, this mouse is dying. There we go. We've got more options here. We can change the color. We can change the title. Now this is important here. Right now it defaults to naming it your starting and ending point. Even though my folder says test and I created a route that says test route 1, it's not calling it that. And again, another area that can confuse people, when you export this and you import it into your Garmin, this is what it's going to call it in the Garmin. So if we want it to show up as test route 1, we can change that. It's telling me how many waypoints, what the distance is. Now, these are each of the shaping points. What's nice here is if we are creating a route, let's say we're going on a trip, I can open up the starting route and I can set a departure time. I can set the date. I want to be at 7 o'clock. And it's going to calculate to let me know exactly when I'm going to arrive. Now, each of these points, you can also, if I right-click, select it to not alert you on the arrival. And it'll give you a little thing. We can hold Shift, select a bunch, don't alert, so that's not bugging you all the time. And of course we can, if we were to double click, make the name whatever we want. Oh. There we go. Okay. Gives you the positioning, a lot of information. You've got directions, options, and so on. Now, if I were to minimize this, let's see my route is now green. Let's zoom out here. Now, the reason I zoomed out is because from here, with this window open, when I click on one of the shaping points, it's going to highlight where that shaping point is. So if you need to double check something, you can. If you have a screwed up point, you can make adjustments. You can delete it. Right click, delete. Now it has taken out that shaping point, but now it needs to recalculate this. So we're going to hit recalculate, and there's the route. Okay, we've created a route, and now we want to, what do we do with it? Well, we're going to want to export it. And when you plug in your, let me pause here and go get my GPS and plug it in to show you. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. So I have I've got a Zumo 665. I have it plugged in. It's showing me under devices. Zumo Frog is the name of the data card that I have in there. So I want to load this up. So I take the test route, file. If I export it, I'm going to actually export it as a GPX file. So that's how I can save it on my computer. If I right click, I can say send to, and I'm going to go down here and I'm going to select my card and I hit OK, and you'll see over here that really quickly it uploaded the data to the user data. And that's it. Now I have it in my Garmin. Why don't I pause this and I'll show you how to upload it once it's in your Garmin. Okay, we've unplugged the Garmin, and sometimes it will automatically prompt you that new user data is available. Do you want to import it now? And you can click yes. I clicked no so that we can go through the whole process. Going to want to go to Tools, My Data, Import Data, Routes. I'm going to scroll down, and there we go, test route 1. Stupid phone. Import. And we're in. So to utilize the route, we're going to go to where to, scroll down, custom routes, test route 1. We can preview it. And there's the route we made. So hopefully this has helped you out. Just some basic features of Basecamp and Garmin and how to utilize them. I'll be doing another video on some more advanced features, including being able to view this route in Google Earth and do a airplane simulator fly-through. So be on the lookout for that. If you got any questions, please feel free to let us know. Subscribe to the channel, we would appreciate it. And we'll see you on the road. Thanks.